years I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. We are back for Married at First Sight, their first season on the Peacock channel. And welcome in, Kimberly. How are you today?
Hello, thank you. I am doing well. How about you?
I am doing well. A little disappointed that we're now getting snow here in Detroit, Michigan. But what's the weather like where you are?
Oh, it's snowing?
Yeah, well, we had snow
Oh,
yesterday
nice.
and it stuck. It actually stuck. I was
Ah,
hoping it would melt, but it's
right.
cold enough for it, so it's in the 30s basically.
Wow. Well, send it here. It's about 45 degrees, and I saw maybe an hour ago there's a freeze warning for tonight. So I
Oh.
love the cold weather, and I'm always hopeful for snow, but we don't really get snow in North Carolina. It's usually gone within a few hours or a day.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I like that. I like that
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So does that mean you'll be wearing boots, and do you enjoy wearing boots out in the cold?
Will probably, but I'm a toes out girl, so I got my toes out all year long,
Even in the winter?
even in the winter.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm clumsy, so in the snow I will put something on with some grip. So yeah.
Okay, just saying hi to everybody out there, whether you're joining us live or on the replay. What did you think of these last three episodes that dropped? What were your thoughts?
Well, I kind of glad they're rushing the season. It seems they're skipping a few days. They're not giving us day by day this season. So I guess we're getting more so to the meat. So we saw some personality changes, people
Mm-hmm.
speaking up a little more, and we got a surprise. So pretty good.
Mm-hmm. We had two truths and a lie, and Josh kind of finally began his slip began to show.
Yeah.
Josh has that slip showing, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Megan and Derek, what's going on with Megan and Derek is very interesting to me.
It
I,
is.
I'm trying to figure out if that was planned or not planned, or did they think they were going to like each other enough to stay together? But we're going to talk about it.
Right.
It seems like they didn't let allow enough time to elapse.
I agree. No, too
You
quick.
know, so we kind of started off with speaking of Derek and Meg. We kind of started back off with them because of from the last episode where she basically told him to f off. Um, he is learning quite quickly how to calm her down, much like Will with Brittany. He has to get physical with her. He has to hold her hand or rub her back or something like that and make
Hmm.
all these apologies. Do you think that's going to be healthy in the long run, that he's always the one that's having to apologize, even though she just blows up? Because if he asked her a question about whether or not she is excited about motherhood or whatever, she seems to feel like she's ambushed all the time.
It's not going to be healthy, or I don't think there'll be any longevity there. I think he's going to get tired, especially when it's her time to really apologize. If she doesn't step up and show that she's quick to apologize like he is, that's going to
Hmm.
cause a big issue in their marriage. And I think Derek is going to be over it at that point. But no, that's not a healthy way to be. But it is nice though when you have somebody who is quick to apologize, especially if it's a genuine apology. Now, some people can just say sorry so quick, like their next breath, but when they really mean it and the behavior changes, that's helpful.
Right. And do you? I got one one question I had down here in my notes. Do you guys think that Derek is afraid of Meg, or do you think that he's just smitten by her, and that's the reason why he's just being so agreeable, even though he seems to be doing most of the emotional work in a relationship? Hello.
Oh yes, no, I don't think he's smitten by her. Sorry. I
Oh.
thought she was saying it for the chatters, but no, I don't think he's smitten by her or anything. I just think this man has lived his life. He's already lived in multiple countries and he's really ready for marriage and the family now. That's what I think he's showing us. He's ready
Oh.
to work. You know, people always say marriage is work. So he keeps that in his mind and he's already lived his life and is ready to do the work at his big age of like I think 38 or something.
Yeah, yeah, he's about 38. I think they both are late 30s,
Right.
38, 37.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
So he's where they should be, quick to apologize, ready to settle down and move to the next stages in life.
Ooh, okay, okay, guys. Did y'all hear that? Y'all heard that here first now, okay? So we're gonna jump over to Rhonda and Pat. Rhonda and Pat. So as we get ready now, this is
Mm,
episode 8 anniversary adventure. So one of the things that Pat and Rhonda decided was that they would get up early to see an actual missile launch, and because we know that that's Pat's career path, that he's been in that for since the 80s, I believe it was.
mhm.
So quite a long time. And she has joined him. He always wanted a partner to watch him. He's something of a nerd or whatever you want to might call it. And
Yeah.
she's up for it. What did you think about her joining him to watch the missile launch?
I loved it. I would love to see it too with someone who has as much knowledge as Pat has on the subject. But I also like to see that Pat has something he's passionate about. Because if you ask people what they're passionate about, a lot of times they can't tell you. They don't know, or they'll just make up something on the spot, but it's not something that they really get into or practice on a regular basis. So to hear Pat say that this is something he's passionate about, and then he
Mhm.
wants to share this with his wife, he even mentioned getting her a t-shirt and she was negative, of course. But I just
She said she'd pick it
loved it.
out herself. Yeah, she did.
Yes. He said, "Do you want a shirt like this?" She was like, "No." You could have said yes and then still got a second shirt.
There you go.
But
She doesn't know anything about kind of just kind of really
right, go
being a
with the
lady with the
flow.
guys. Go with the flow. Now
Exactly.
look, this is our boy Pat back when he was a
Mm-hmm.
young man. I thought he was quite handsome
Yes.
too. I think he's still
Yes.
handsome.
Yes.
Mhm.
He's just
She's
so laid back and quiet, and I can see the issues that Rhonda's having with him too. I can
oh, okay.
understand her issue there, but Rhonda's just doing the most.
She's doing well. You know what I put in my notes is I put in my notes that Rhonda needs a therapy group, to
Hmm.
and to stop trying to trauma bond with Pat, because Pat don't want to trauma bond. You lost your
Yeah.
father at 19. He lost his father
Yeah.
just a year or two ago, 3 years ago, and you are more distraught about your loss of your father. It tells me that there's some wounds that need to be healed with Rhonda.
Yes.
She's a lot, like you said.
Right.
She is a lot. She is a lot.
Hmm.
And then we got our boy Josh, Josh and his girl Jalen. Uh, he's something else. He's something else. We find out that he lied. He lied about unfriending his ex. Uh, what did you think about him lying about unfriending his ex?
That was so crazy. Like, why would you do that? But that is so common. That's common with social media. Being, I guess, the basis for issues in relationships because people want to keep social media private, but it's not a private platform. That's public. And you can't lie.
Hmm.
But he did, Josh said later on that it was just, I think, a nervous reaction when he lied to just say, yes, I unfriended her, just quickly. And then I guess
Hmm.
I can't remember if he came back and told the truth or if she found out on her own. But either
She
way, it
found
doesn't
out on
matter.
I'm gonna tell you, she found out actually when they were on a date with some of his friends. That's how she found out.
Mhm.
So he never
Yeah.
did. So to me, that's not a slip of the tongue. That's an actual lie, Josh. You
Mhm.
lied once when you said you were gonna unfriend the girl. You told her, "Oh, 100%." I knew it to me when
Exactly.
he threw the 100% in. To me, that was the disclaimer that I knew was the lie because
Yeah.
you either gonna say I'm gonna unfriend her. You don't have to add all the 100%, the absolutely's,
Yep.
all the extra little flowery words. You just say it, and you could have just went to your phone and did it right in front of your wife, because that is your wife, not your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not the truth. As my mother would say, he's a lie. The truth is not in him.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
didn't see
that
that.
was different to see, and then
It
it
was
just kept getting worse with
it
Josh.
it kept getting worse, and we're gonna get into that a little bit more as we get to it. But so, uh, actually, this was the morning of their anniversary adventure. So he asked her. He says, "Well, we're headed to San Marcos, and we're gonna get in a plane, but it's not gonna be the plane that we end up landing in." And she was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And so the
Mhm.
next thing you know, they are over to do some skydiving. What did you think of that
Yeah.
activity?
I don't initially I was like, "Oh, this is great. It's cool. It's something that she wanted to do." So her husband is helping her mark off her bucket list item. It was a great
Hmm.
1 month anniversary gift. But then I was thinking this is too much too soon because what else are they going to be doing? Like they're going to be going to the moon in a year because they have done a lot. They've
They
already in a month.
have. They right, you're right, because even with their honeymoon and her diving into the ocean, something she'd never done before. So he's getting
Mhm.
her to really be adventurous about things.
Yes.
Uh but can she get him to write vows though? That's what I want to
Hmm.
know. Will
Mhm.
he be that adventurous or not?
Right.
So we've got Megan and Derek, and they are starting to kind of get along. Things are starting to pick up a little bit. I think what I felt like in these episodes, I felt like we started to see Megan finally soften and become more feminine and more agreeable. Um, I don't know. He must be hitting the G spot just the right way. I don't know what's going on, but Megan is like she's really smitten. What did you think?
I think it just goes back to their interview, I think we call it at the beginning. Both
Hmm.
of them were very into, that hot and whatever we call it, hot and heavy time.
Hot
They
and heavy time.
both said that they
Oh
would, I think, to
yes,
have it that daily, if I'm not mistaken. It was a high number per week that
yes.
both of them wanted to, be intimate with each other. And they are showing us that, that's just their true self. So I don't even know if it really has to do with attraction because Megan is something
Oh,
else. Her personality is just, too much. And then she is kind of saying he's a lot too. So I
it's a
think it's
lot.
just in them to want that because, people, we've seen people just do it with anybody, really. So it could be the case here where they're really not all that into each other, but just getting that need met.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That very well could be. We don't really know. The couples are starting to get their books, their wedding pictures back. It's been 1 month, we know. So we see here we've got Brittany and Will just enjoying the package that they have sent over with the wedding pictures, the wedding photos, and she teases him. She says, you look so handsome, but you did not smile in not a single one."
Wow.
Yeah, what do you think about that? You think the
That's just
photographer just was
terrible.
off or what?
I don't know. Maybe I don't understand what happened because he was smiling a little bit that I can remember. I hadn't
Yeah.
noticed that he wasn't smiling because he was all teeth when they sat down after they met at the altar. So I don't know how they just picked all of those random pictures of him being so serious. But it
Looking
was
serious.
cool earlier in the episode to see them do the wrestling match. But I didn't know that Brittany was the one that was into wrestling. That was different.
Yeah, here they are headed over to the wrestling match. That's right. I
Yeah.
thought that was good. I thought the wrestling was fun. Uh,
Mhm.
I loved it when he did the when they were pretending that she was stomping him and he would just bounce up like.
Yes.
I was like, I never
He,
could figure out how they get their bodies to do that, but I guess he just kind of pops a willy or something. I don't know.
yep,
Uh,
exactly.
so they were headed over to that. Um, you've got these two again. Once again, we're still talking about what happened, and he's saying, "Well, I feel like there's some tension in the room," and she's saying, "Well,
Hmm.
yeah, because." You told me that you were going to unfriend this particular person that was your ex, and also you went to write the vows, and then you wouldn't read them out loud to me. You said it was only 20 minutes. You said it took you 4 days to come up with 4 paragraphs. I'm beginning to wonder, and I don't know if anybody else is seeing this, but I'm beginning to think that this guy has a learning disability. Like,
Mm.
I'm wondering, and I've seen this throughout my life, but typically it was with much older people, like not of my generation, where they came up and for whatever reason they never learned how to read or they didn't learn how to read well. But I'm starting to sense like, did he even write the original vows? Has she
I
ever
said
heard
the
him
same.
read? Huh?
I said the same thing when I was live yesterday watching it.
Yeah,
It made me question, did he really write his original vows? But he
yeah.
did say that he was an introvert until maybe a few years ago. And a lot of times they are more sheltered and not exposed to, so they can be seen as a little slower.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just can't imagine anybody that can read and write saying that 20 minutes is not enough. And then this is the thing about it. This is what really ticks me off with him is with Josh is that he wants her to jump out of a whole perfectly good airplane, but he can't even take 5 minutes to say what he likes about her. Because she told him, she said, well, don't write it, just say it. And
Hmm.
we saw him absolutely avoid any kind of anything to do with saying what he liked about her in front of the camera this time. So what is I'm like with her. What does that mean? Does it mean that he's just not feeling the same way about her anymore? Is he in a relationship and he is one of those people that have come to married at first sight and doesn't want to be on camera? Let's see what Felicia is saying here. Um, Felicia one, she says she grew up wrestling. Also, Junkyard
Mm.
Dog, Dusty Rose, Hackshaw Dungeon. Oh yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And then she says Jalen and Josh are both problematic. I definitely see Josh as being problematic. Tell me right down in the chat and tell me, Felicia, what is it you see about Jalen as problematic? Yeah, thanks guys coming on in here now. I appreciate that. And there's Naomi in NYC. Good evening. Good evening to you as well, dear. Um, yeah, what did you think about that? Him not being able to say those vowels. Like, tell me about that.
Um,
Kimberly.
Yeah, I didn't think it was good. It did pop up a red flag, as you said, and it just seems like he really went into an anxiety attack just from
Yes.
being asked that. And he could have just tried, just try and come up with something, like you said, after 20 minutes. But he literally shut down. He was not interested in even trying. And then I thought about, after I said, well, did he really write the original vows? I thought maybe he's shutting down, because remember an episode or two ago,
Hmm.
Chad shut down when he was pushed and encouraged by the producers to do whatever, and
Oh
push
yeah,
the
yeah.
conversation.
When they jumped in and they were trying to get him to talk, and he said, "Wait a minute, really?" Yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, so I said, we said that Chad maybe was tired, so I'm like, okay, well, maybe Josh was tired. I'm gonna say, give him the same grace.
Well, I guess I see what you're saying as to being tired, but this the thing about it is that this was all with his lady. This was not like between Belinda and Chad. I accepted that Chad might have been a little frustrated because to me, the producers broke the fourth wall and they started talking to him in the middle of their scene when she was asking what he liked about her and she was saying what she liked about him and what was special, right? But in
Hmm.
this case, in this scene, you got Jalen and you got Josh, and Josh is basically saying, well, I'm not going to read what I wrote on the paper And also, not only am I not going to read what I wrote on the paper to you, Jalen, but I'm also not going to tell you what I like about you. I'm not going to give a second thing of our vows. So there was no producer, there was no one to be annoyed with, and him saying
The
that he
assignment. Yeah, I think both of them were annoyed with the assignment because even Chad
oh
needed help. In my opinion, Chad needed help because he was stuttering. He paused for a long time, like he couldn't even get his. He was saying nothing. I would have been disappointed with what Chad told Belinda if I was Belinda because he said nothing. So he needed help,
okay,
in my opinion.
in your opinion, right?
Yeah.
And to your point, Felicia's adding in some extra salt too. She's saying that Jalen
Mm.
is an and is a people pleaser. I feel like
Uh-huh.
Josh is a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did not understand. I don't give him a pass because to me, reading is very important. Now he
Yes.
owns a whole business, but he was the one saying, he also told her, well, it's okay. You can be successful without going to school, without going to college, and that is true. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I need to see a little bit more on
Right.
his academic skills. You may not have to have a PhD to be with me, but I want to know that you are intelligent in that way. There are different types of
Exactly.
intelligence, and I get that. But
Yes.
if we're going to be together for 50 plus years or 40 years, I want to know that you're a reader. We can discuss things that we've read, that you are a critical thinker. That's what I would need. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
she needs might be something totally different, but that's just what it is. I don't get
Yeah.
it. I
Yep.
don't get it. But anyway, but we end up for the anniversary, we end up at Rhonda's beautiful home in her beautiful outdoors, which we have both complimented that she has a beautiful outdoor setting with the pool and the layout and
Mm-hmm.
the decking and all of this kind of stuff. So we'll see. Wait a minute, let's see. Is Jalen being adventurous because the producers are coaxing her, or will she be that way outside of this experiment? Hmm. Let's go back to Jalen and Josh for a second. Kimberly, what do you think?
I think she's open. I really think that she's trying to be more open, but we do know the producers drive a lot of the scenes. We've been told
Hmm.
that many times because we've been here years. But I really think Jalen is open to doing whatever. But now she's speaking up more. We'll see later on that she's speaking up and saying no.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good question, Felicia. I like that question.
Hmm.
Honestly, I was wondering that too for a minute, but I think the fact that Josh had said that there was something when he was talking to her casually about skydiving. This was something on her bucket list. And you know how we all have, many of us have bucket lists at certain points, especially when we're younger. We say, oh, before I
Hmm.
leave this earth, I want to go to Italy. I want to, ride down the
Yes.
gondola in Venice and this type of
Mhm.
thing. So I think that that's very possible that that was on her list, but she wasn't expecting it to be this soon. But yeah, I think she kind of wanted it. I felt like she kind of wanted it. She seemed to have enjoyed it. It's so funny. I know my daughter and her husband recently went skydiving, and I found out about it later. She sent the pictures and the video, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's something that when I was younger, I actually had on my bucket list, but now that I'm
Uh-huh.
older, it's like, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Oh.
I'm okay with not skydiving. But anyway, so very good question, though, Felicia. Thank you for that question. I like that. That was a
Yes.
very good
Hmm.
question. So when we get over to Rhonda's house and the couples are gathered together, um, and they're going to have their sit down dinner. And the thing that is, you know, it's going to be a mess because anytime these couples get together and sit down and start comparing their love for one another, it just seems like it inflames one of the contestants. That's what I see. But we
Hmm.
get to this couple, we get to Chad and Belinda. They seem to have kind of hit their stride right now. What do you think about Chad and Belinda? What we've seen of them these last couple of episodes?
Oh, yes, I agree. And it seems that Chad is trying to open up and be a little more romantic, I guess, which is what Belinda asked episode or so ago. And I think that they can really work it out. Hopefully, they'll continue doing the work and all the
Hmm.
jokes won't get on Belinda's nerves because that would get on my nerves. Like, I love laughing, that's on my list and everything. But
Yeah.
Chad goes overboard with it. So hopefully we'll
Hmm.
see, continue to see the good side of Chad and not why he's been divorced multiple times.
Yes, because I do have questions for you, Chad. I do
Me
have
too.
questions, Chad. Like, what happened? Because he seems to be right now, as I'm watching him, I'm thinking he's one of the better husbands. I don't know. I guess it'd be a toss up between him and Josh, or not. I'm sorry, not Josh, but Derek. What do you think? I mean, out of the five husbands, or is it Pat?
No, I don't like Pat because
You don't like
Pat is
Pat?
self-centered. No, so I would say
Okay, so is it
Derek
which?
for me. I don't even like Chad.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
No.
So Derek, yeah, Derek is very good. He's very articulate. He's
Yeah.
very apologetic. I don't know, but
Hmm.
you, so you like Derek, okay. All right, but these two do seem to be kind of getting along. We go over to these two. At this point now, this is where I'm going to let you guys know they have found out that they are with child. And what I'm trying to understand is why are they with child and only known each other 1 month? Why were they purposely having lots and lots of hot and heavy time and not using any protection? What are your thoughts on this, Kimberly?
I agree. It's too soon. You don't even know who this person is fully. Even though Derek made the comment that they feel like they've mashed 1 year of getting to know each other, dating relationship into 1 month. And I said, okay, well, maybe I could see that with the help of the experts. I could see how you could move so fast, but they haven't even had a good week. I don't even think they've had a week without these blow
Mm-mm.
ups and arguments, and that's not healthy. I honestly think people should just wait at least a year, get whether you're married or dating or whatever, because marriage isn't the goal for everyone. But I think you should wait at least a year to get to know your person, see them fully, see them upset, stress
Mm-hmm.
out,
Yep.
holidays. That's a lot that you need to get to know before you try to make a child with somebody and create a broken
Mm-hmm.
home. That's not fair to the child.
Mm-mm. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I said, now, I don't know whose grand idea this was. If she knew that she was not on birth control and
Exactly.
and he wasn't going to wear what a man needs to wear to protect
Yes.
his family jewels. I don't know at this point. I guess it's both of them. I can't just say it's just her, because I'm assuming that
Hmm.
she told him going into this, well,
Right.
hun, if we have unprotected hot and heavy time, I'm not on the pill or whatever other form that she could have been on. So, hmm, it's just very interesting to me. Now these two, you've got Rhonda and you got Pat. And Rhonda, they're at the music festival, and Rhonda is sipping on something in that tumbler. Now, raise your hand if you think that what Rhonda is sucking on is something alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I'm raising my hand. I think it's something alcoholic.
And then she had like 2 or 3 cups. Oh, I think you
Yeah,
can see the straw in one right there.
yeah. So I mean, lots of drinking going on there, right? Maybe,
Yes.
perhaps. Um,
Yep.
so they're at this music thing, and she's talking about the lyrics and how it makes her feel. It makes her feel one way, and Pat over here is saying, "Well, I took those lyrics to mean something a little bit different," and then he gives his interpretation, and right away you see her start to squinch up her little face, and she tells us in the confessional, he's always inserting himself into the conversation. He's always telling us what he's thinking. And I'm like, Rhonda, do you understand that conversations include back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Like, what is it with Rhonda? Anybody understand what's going on with Rhonda? Do
I
we
don't.
know what's going on with Rhonda?
No.
Cause, Cause Rhonda got that closet back at home packed so tight, she ain't gonna never get no husband's shoes or a pair of jeans or jean jacket or nothing in there. And Pat can just
No.
go back home and be with his mother. I think,
Yeah.
I think Rhonda, I get the impression that Rhonda thinks she's better than everybody, especially Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she looks down on the fact that he lives with his mother. Um, I think that she doesn't even consider the fact that he just lost his father. And when she's busy telling him about her dad that passed away over 40 years ago, I don't think she ever considers or have empathy for him to think about maybe he's thinking about his dad too.
That very well could be the case. Yeah, it was possible because they had two totally different thoughts for the song. I think Rhonda said it made her think of the past, and Pat was like, "Nope, it makes me think of the future." I'm like, "What? That is night and day."
Well, I like his better though. I like that he's optimistic and he is thinking about the future because while you can benefit from learning lessons from the past, you can't
Hmm.
stay stuck in the past. That's the
Right.
thing. Can't stay
Yes.
stuck in the past. But getting back to something that the show also sent over to the couples, you're looking at some nice nipple clamps there, okay?
Mhm.
Now now Chad has decided to wear them as earrings, but over here Belinda, she's
Mhm.
saying, "Oh no, why would anybody ever use those?" So we got
Ooh.
interesting reactions from the various couples about their um happy makers, their vibrators, massagers, and what have you not. So, in
Mhm.
fact, moving on to this couple, Brittany and Will. Uh, Brittany, now I wasn't sure she was playing the sweet good girl on this one. Cause she was like, "Well, I don't know anything about it." But meanwhile, Will, he took out all the things that he had to use, and that was basically everything in the box. What did you think about that, Kimberly? What did you
I
think about
believe it. I because Will, like I said, he seems that he's had a lot of relationships. He said that he's been in multiple relationships, and that he didn't have issues with them or something like that along the lines of communication. And Brittany, it seems that she was probably focused on her career and buying a house, and that can really consume a lot of your time if you're
mm,
getting multiple degrees at her age. She's not even 30. And
mhm,
I can believe that she was not entertaining a lot of people, and her family seems hands on. Her mom, her sisters, they all seem very active in her life. So I'm sure they probably didn't let her date just anybody either. Even her dad. We saw how her dad interacted with Will, and I'm sure they were probably overprotective of her a little bit. And I could
yeah,
believe that she hasn't, done all that, but it was just sad to still see Will so emotionless after over a month. He's still
yeah,
not showing much emotion. I don't know if I could do it that long.
yeah. I think that's I don't want to say flaw because I don't want to say that, but I think that's kind
Mm.
of innate in who he is that he's
Mhm.
just this person that doesn't show emotion.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to recognize. Later on we're going to see them back at the at Rhonda's and Pat's. He doesn't seem to really recognize that there's actually something wrong with that. He seems to think that's quite normal. But let's go over here to Josh and Jalen. They are being met by Pastor Cal and by Dr. Pia. And this is all again about the whole situation of him not not get letting go of this ex. What do you think
Mhm.
that's about? And do you think that Dr. Pia and slash Pastor Cal gave good advice to the both of them?
I think so because their, I guess, goal for Dr. Pia and Pastor Cal, both of them just want these couples to stay together. So they're not trying to promote any kind of divorce. So they're not going to magnify the issues. They're going to try to help you get past the issues. And you just have to use your common sense to say, if I need to leave or stay. So I
Mm-hmm.
would have a problem. I just have a big problem with lying, period. So for him to be, oh yes, I'm going to delete the ex, and now you're still up there, and like you said earlier, she even found out from another person. That's just terrible. Even if I found out on my own, it would still be
Mm-hmm.
just as hurtful and disrespectful. Because why are you holding on to this person? You can delete her, and then if things don't work out with your new wife, then you can go back to that person if you want to go back and
If you
do
so
that. But
choose. Yeah,
yeah,
good
but
point.
don't harm your marriage. Give your marriage a fair chance. Don't make yourself a liar already.
Yeah, Yeah, and the thing about him lying about the small things, you
Exactly.
makes you wonder if he's gonna also lie about bigger things. Because
Mm.
I still don't get the whole vow thing and why he couldn't read it
Yes.
out loud, why he wants her to jump out of planes, but he can't even
Yeah.
take 30 seconds to read this one line that he wrote. So what if it was
Mhm.
only one line? Like he's putting all this pressure on himself, assuming that he can read and write, like, someone from, you know, uh, a basic high school level. Like, what would have been wrong with him reading what he wrote? It wouldn't have been any big deal.
Yeah, or even just say we can revisit it tomorrow. I'm not, in the mood right now. I don't really feel up to
Yeah.
it or whatever. Let's try again tomorrow because he did admit later that he shut down for whatever reason. But I think he could have just communicated a little better in that area.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Okay, and so then we go. Speaking of Rhonda and Pat are visiting her father's gravesite. And as they're entering the cemetery, she makes a very big point of telling him, "Oh, just, don't be sure, don't step on the graves," and different things that, like, any person that has been to a cemetery before knows it's disrespectful. It's considered disrespectful to step on somebody's plaque or their gravesite. We all know that. Like, who is she talking to? Like he was a little kid or something. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I was like, here go Rhonda, trying to lead the pack again. And I guess maybe some people didn't know that. I wonder what made her point that out because, like you said, to me, it's pretty much common sense. That's just, you don't point at a grave. That's something, too, that I've learned growing up is superstition. Maybe, the person is
Oh,
gone, they're not coming back, but still,
okay.
it's
They'll never,
just,
so not to point to the grave. Okay. Now that's
mm-hmm.
something I hadn't heard before. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. So it's all to me, I guess, a little superstition. But some people say it's respect.
Okay, okay. I can believe that. I mean, I'm willing to. As a kid, I was one of those people that, I think I was kind of spooked by because I remember what was it? I was in second grade, and there was a cemetery that was down the street, like several blocks from where we live. But every now and then we would have to walk past, and I was just like, "Ooh!" It felt creepy to me.
Yes.
And I think, and looking back, I think too because it wasn't kept. You know how some cemeteries almost become like almost abandoned, like if you ever seen that
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. It wasn't
Yes.
very well kept too, so that was another reason. But Pat, I'm very impressed with Pat because Pat finally had to pull that doggone car over and said, "Why you telling me this story about when your dad passed away and your uncle and your grandmother passed away when you was 2 and somebody passed away when you was 3 and all of these things, and you expect me to remember all of these names and all of these things. I'm sorry, dear, but I cannot do that. We should probably have this conversation at a different time because I'm trying to drive the car to get you to your father's gravesite and back, and you're just basically you've been on my neck this whole time." And I'm paraphrasing this now, but what did
Mm-hmm.
you think about Pat finally getting real with Rhonda and letting her know how he felt?
I loved it. I like when people speak up and don't just let it bother you, especially if it's something that's bothering you. Don't just
Mhm.
continue to ignore it because then the person is going to just continue to expect you to ignore whatever. They're not going to want you to speak up, which is what we've seen Pat do so far. He's just kind of been laid back and it was nice,
Mhm.
to see him say that. And even like Rhonda said, "Oh, we just had the conversation, what, 5 minutes ago, but let's not forget, Rhonda forgot her husband's name at the altar. I mean, they hadn't left the altar quite yet." Too many minutes ago. And she was like, "What is his name?" And she was all over the place with trying to remember his name. So I
Yep.
can imagine how this is a lot. You got cameras in your face, you're driving, you're trying to focus, you don't know where you're going. Because I'm sure he, probably didn't know where the cemetery was because it's not his
Right.
people. So I could see how he could have been overwhelmed and not fully focused on the conversation. But Rhonda did apologize, which was nice.
She
She
did.
ended
She
up,
did
yeah.
apologize. She apologizes. But the thing I think about Rhonda is the same thing I feel about Josh. Rhonda and Josh, they may apologize, but the behavior hasn't changed yet. We haven't seen the
Hmm.
behavior change. So if you're going to apologize, make sure you're doing something to prevent this from happening over and over again, the same exact thing. That's what I think about
Exactly.
them. So now we get back to we're back at Rhonda's house, and we're having, I'm sorry, we're at the retreat. I'm sorry. We're away at the retreat, and the ladies are talking to Brittany. Brittany's getting emotional. She's just feeling like actually she's, I'm sorry, she's talking to Will in this particular case, and Will is basically saying that he's not sure how he's going to vote on decision day, and she gets very emotional saying, well, I'm just not sure I'm your person. I'm thinking to myself, girl, if you don't let this man fall in love with you or not fall in love with you, why did you come on this show if you couldn't handle rejection?
Yeah,
What
and
were you?
I
Mhm.
think it's the emotion part too. I couldn't be with Will. Someone you don't know what they're thinking, if they're, up or down. He's just like, oh, I'm just fine with everything. I don't
Okay.
like that side. I wouldn't be able to deal it. So she's not feeling
Oh.
secure or like reassured that this
Mhm.
is okay. But he was like, yeah, if today was decision day, I would say yes, but I don't know what I would say tomorrow. You just leave it at today was decision day. I would say yes. Don't throw in the negative because it's like a but. It erases everything you said and it takes the
Mhm.
power away from the positivity. And now you're just focused on the negative, like, uh-oh. Just like Brittany said, if I breathe wrong, are we done?
Yeah, you're right. Now I do agree with that. When he did say that about, today would be a yes, I I was perfectly fine, and then he had to keep talking. But I think that's
Hmm.
Will, and I think that's something when we saw him at the beginning with his boys on the wedding day, and when he was using all these like, my mother is very
Mhm.
verbose and blah blah blah. It's like he likes to play with words. He likes to do all of this. He wants to show you he's the smartest person in the room. But what
Mhm.
he doesn't want to do is ever focus on emotions. That's the thing that
Yeah,
he's running from. That's what I see.
right.
But in any case, so the girls are all gathered around. This is a little bit later. Now we are at the retreat. And she's telling the girls the same thing basically, is that my man, he doesn't know how to make me feel safe. He's like, he'll say today, if I had to answer, I would say yes, but I'm not so sure. We got 2 more weeks to go. And the girls are kind of, they're trying to encourage Brittany. What did you think about the women? They were really trying to uplift her and say various things.
Yeah, I think it was good. And hopefully we'll see changes too and will. But it is a lot I can see on Brittany. But I love the positivity from the ladies and just them being uplifting, and then maybe they can give Will some tips too. That might be helpful.
Yeah, maybe get some tips from Derek, because Derek seems to know what to do.
So true.
Yeah,
Yes.
Derek seems to know what to do. So maybe we could get that going. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, hold on 1 second. Let me copy this. Um, okay, and then we've got mother and daughter having a talk, and she's telling mom about Josh, and mom's listening and trying to get an understanding and saying, well, if he doesn't understand about community, I'm sure you'll be able to help him. And that's another part of the conversation that I forgot about with Jalen and Josh. What did you think about Josh not understanding that your friends are part of your community? What did you think about that? Like, he seems to be really lost with that word community.
That goes back to us, the introvert part, and just saying that maybe he's not all that wise. Because how do you not know what community is? At this age, I can understand if he was a teenager not understanding. And then it was sad to see Jalen just break down crying. I'm like, how did we go from the perfect couple to now you're crying over this man who is clearly having a struggle with communication at this point, it seems. So I like the way Jalen was able to express herself and just be vulnerable, as Pastor Cal and Dr. Pia keep saying, because I think it's going to help her really see who Josh really is. Does he want to understand her, or does he want to just continue controlling what's going on and have things, kind of his way? So I think that was a good breaking point for them. But hopefully it'll end up positive. We can get back on a positive note, maybe.
Okay. And speaking, one last thing. And speaking of Jalen and Josh, what did you think about when he said, "Don't you ever roll your eyes at me"? What did you
That
think about
was
the way he said
terrible.
that?
Yeah, he said it was disrespectful, which, okay, disrespect could be different for different people. And I could see
Hmm.
how it could make him feel that she did not care about what he was saying or didn't care that he was trying to understand what was going on. So a lot of people say that, like the huffing and puffing, like the heavy breathing, rolling your eyes, or like smacking your lips, or walking off, turning your head, looking up at the ceiling. A lot of those things can
Could
be
be.
seen as disrespectful.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I just didn't like his tone. He could have said, "I don't like when you do that. Please don't do that." But he said, "Don't you ever." I was like, "What?
Yeah.
What are you
That's
going to do if
almost
she does?"
right, right, exactly. That's the question I had in my back of my mind. That's almost a phrase or a statement from childhood when your parents will talk to you like
Mm,
that. They will say, "Don't you ever slam that
yes.
door in my face again," or blah blah blah
Right.
blah blah. That's like you are the person in control. That's what that gave
Mm-hmm.
me to what you're saying. I agree with you. I thought and the thing about it was, if we go back and look at that scene, he was cutting her off in conversation. He was interrupting her, but telling her not to interrupt him. And I think that's where, when he interrupted her that final time, I believe that's where she gave the big eye roll, rolled her
Yes.
eyes at him, because he had interrupted her for the umpteenth time after she said, "Well, can I talk now? Is it my turn?" He let her talk. And then minute she started saying something he didn't like, he interrupted her. And that's when she rolled her eyes. So I can
Mm-hmm.
see, you can roll your eyes at your partner. You guys are equals, not he's in control and you're the child. That's the way I looked at that. Like, so why is he saying don't you ever do that? And then to what you said, what is he gonna do if she does do it again?
Right. Because
What's
that was
Josh?
just like final. Don't do that.
Yeah, like what's Josh gonna do when them cameras not around? It was given eat the cake, Annie Mae. Eat the cake, Annie
Exactly.
Mae.
Yeah. Yeah, that was scary.
It was giving some real strong DV vibes to me. But
Mm-hmm.
finally we wrap this up with the last scene. We're still at the retreat. They're having dinner, and they went around the table. They've asked Will, does he love her? And he says, "Well, no, I can't say that I do." Will Will just doesn't know how to phrase things. Like, for him to be, his mother to have been so verbose, him to be so verbose, he doesn't seem to respect the advantages and the nuances of words. Like, instead
Mm-hmm.
of him just saying, well, we haven't gotten there yet, and maybe leaving it at that, but I'm sure we will. We feel like we're on our way, or something that would have been appropriate and encouraging. What do you think he could have maybe said?
He said it to the guys, "Oh, I love her, but I'm not in love her with her." So that's all the girl wants, is to know that you love her. And then he went into all these different types of
Of
love with the
love.
guys. That was so
Verbose.
ignorant, ignorant, because
Yes.
you love your friends. We have love for our friends. You
Yes.
know, I've never met actually Aubrey, and I love her. It's
And I
nothing to
love
it.
you, Kimberly.
Right. What is so hard about somebody who is supposed to have so much wisdom and such large vocabulary? Why can't you let this lady know you love her? But you can let the guys know you love her? It
Right.
doesn't make sense to me.
It didn't make sense, and it ended up with everybody trying to come to her rescue, and the girls trying to say this and that around the table. It ended up with Brittany running to the restroom. She said, "I appreciate you guys." She gave a little cute little speech. I did appreciate that she had the maturity and the
Mm-hmm.
soundness of mind to say, "I appreciate you guys what you're saying, but excuse me for a moment. I have to go to the ladies' room." And
Yeah.
she went there, and then the thing about it was, Will just sat there. Will
Yeah.
just sat there. Like,
Again.
I'm like, why don't you get up and go see about your woman?
And then I was wondering, did they have the conversation? Because last time she ran off, I don't know if they communicated that, hey, when I run off, I would like for you to chase me, or, something. I don't know if they talked about it. So
Oh
maybe
yeah,
he didn't
maybe
learn yet.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I don't recall that either. But I think in that moment, like when you're
Yes.
around a crowd of people and you see that, because here's the other thing about it. She was sitting at that table and she was openly weeping. She had tears rolling
Mm-hmm.
down, streaming down her face. So
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought to me that he would have talked to her, even if he had done before she got up, if he could have just
Yeah.
touched her leg under the table, rubbed her hand on top of the table. Like we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
all these different ways that some people are very much physical is their love language. So I would have
Mm-hmm.
thought that he would have reached for her even before she had to run off. But certainly, if she had ran off when she ran off, I think he should have went behind her. I think he should have went behind
Mm-hmm.
her. He should have been the one having to talk. But we're gonna find out next week, guys, when this we continue next Monday. You're available next Monday, correct, Kimberly?
Oh, I believe so. Oh Lord. Hopefully. Hopefully.
We'll figure out
I
a
would let
day.
you know.
You're
Yes.
gonna let me know, but we think at this point we believe it'll be next Monday. In fact, I'm going to let's see, I already took the 'cause that was what I was doing, so I could create the next thumbnail and the next uh information for our next one. So yeah, well with that said, guys, anything else? Did we get everything else? I think we got everything else. That was the retreat and the defeat. That last episode, episode 10, season 11. So with
Yeah.
that being said, Kimberly, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, yes. Please come on over. Kimberly Reviews on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, all the things. You can find me. I enjoy watching these dating and marriage reality TV shows. I enjoy posting my travels. I enjoy traveling fully. And I also have a video on debt freedom because that's what I do part time. I enjoy helping others become debt free and reach your goals, whatever it is. I say, don't just give your money away to your bills. Make sure you save some money for you. So thank you so much, actually, Aubrey, for the opportunity. And thank you all for the support.
Oh, and thank you for being here. I couldn't do this without you. I love that we've been doing this, like you said, for a number of years. And I want to
Yes.
add this. So I'm taking the skydiving off my bucket list, and I'm putting on my bucket list that I want to meet Kimberly Reviews and Mr. Reviews.
Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I'm putting on there right now. But guys, we
It
getting
will
ready to
happen.
it's gonna
Mhm.
happen. We're getting ready to shimmy and shake on out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. We have enjoyed you hanging out with us, and we hope to see you in the comment section. Brittany, yes. I agree. I'm gonna put this up here. I agree. She should have waited, but that she
Yes.
told us is her pattern that she's been doing her whole dating life, and I think maybe after this marriage, she'll find out why that's not always a good idea. But guys, we're gonna
Mhm.
shimmy and shake on out of here. See you guys next week.